Hi guys, thanks for visiting my channel. Today I have another great dinner idea for you. The inspiration for this was one of those times where you just peek in your fridge and see what you've got on hand and what you need to use up, and you come up with something on the fly. Well, that's what happened when I came up with this, and this is going to be red beans and rice stuffed peppers. I had a bunch of stuffed peppers that needed to be used up, but I didn't want to make traditional stuffed peppers. We'd had a lot of things with tomato in them and I really wasn't in the mood for more tomato, so I tried to come up with a different way of using it, racked my brain, and beans are always a good idea. Love rice, and I also had some andouille sausage on hand at that time too that needed to be used. So I thought, why not make red beans and rice stuffed peppers? Traditionally you have green peppers in your red beans and rice, so I just decided to stuff the filling in the green pepper. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so we're gonna start by sauteing some veggies. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna turn my pan on medium, and we're gonna start by adding about 3 tablespoons of butter. We'll let that melt down for a minute. And then I have 1/2 of a large chopped onion, so about, it's not quite a cup. And all this you can adjust to what to your liking. Also traditional in red beans and rice is celery, so I have 2 stalks of celery that I've also chopped, and then some garlic. I've chopped 3 cloves of garlic. So we're going to start by sauteing those together. Put those in the pan. And then the garlic. And I'm just going to let those go until those get nice and soft. And the other thing I'm going to do while those are sauteing is I'm going to go ahead and chop my andouille sausage. This is an andouille smoked sausage. If you do not like the heat in andouille sausage, you can always use just regular smoked sausage. So I'm going to get my vegetables sauteing, and I'm going to chop my sausage, and then I'll bring you back. Okay guys, I brought you in close so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. You can see I've got the onion, the garlic, and the celery in my pan, and we're just sauteing those. We just want those to soften up a bit. And then I went ahead and I cut up my sausage in bite-sized pieces. However big you want them is fine. It's entirely up to you. It's still kind of big. And what we're going to do is just going to let this go a little bit longer till they soften just a bit more. And then we're going to add some other ingredients to our delicious filling. Okay guys, our veggies have been sauteing for about 5 minutes. They're starting to soften. So now I'm going to add my sausage. We're just going to saute the sausage with our veggies for about a minute. And then once you start to smell your sausage, it's time to add your rice. And I have 1 cup of white basmati rice. You can use whatever rice you like. And we want to saute that as well for about 20 seconds or so. Just toast up the rice a little bit. While that's toasting, I am going to add about a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. And the seasonings, again, are entirely up to you. And I'm going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano, dried oregano. Okay, Now we're ready to add some chicken stock. You can use vegetable stock or chicken stock, whatever you have on hand, whatever you like. And I'm going to add about 2.5 cups. And then we're also going to add some red beans. Now these are red kidney beans that I canned myself, but there are other red beans you can purchase, so whatever red bean you like. And you want about the equivalent of 2 15-ounce cans if you're not canning them yourself. If you're canning them yourself, you're gonna want about a quart jar. And then we're just going to mix that all together. And we're gonna put our lid on. Oops, one more thing before we put the lid on. I'm also going to add 1 bay leaf. Stick him in there. And then we'll put the lid on, bring it up to a boil, and then reduce our heat to a simmer and let our rice mixture simmer until all of our liquid is absorbed. Okay guys, I just was going to show you how I prep my peppers. I know everyone does it differently. I know some people just use the whole pepper. I have these, mine are smaller. They're ones that were from my garden. We picked them a couple of weeks ago and they've kept beautifully in the refrigerator and needed to be used up. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this recipe for you. Anyway, I like to cut mine in half. So what I do is I just cut the pepper in half and then just take out the seeds. And then I lay mine in a 9 by 13 inch baking pan. I know some people like to keep their peppers whole and they just remove the insides and keep them upright. I'm going to add some delicious cheese to ours, and I like that crusty, ooey gooey cheese on top. So that's why I cut mine in half. So I just cut them in half like that and then just cut out the membranes and the seeds. And I know some people leave the stem. I don't like working around the stem when I'm eating. So I take all that out and the seeds and then just put it in my pan. Hey guys, my rice has absorbed almost all of my liquid, so we're good to go now. I'm going to remove my bay leaf and just give everything a stir. Make sure everything's nicely stirred together. And then I'm going to add about a cup of shredded, this is cheddar and Monterey Jack together, but you can use whatever cheese you like. There are no rules here, so whatever you have on hand and want to use up or whatever you like is totally fine. So we're going to add about a cup of cheese here just to act as a binder to kind of help everything hold together. And just give that a little bit of a stir. And you can add more cheese if you want. I found about a cup works well because I'm going to sprinkle the top with more cheese. So once you get your cheese mixed in, then you can start filling your peppers. And I'm pretty generous with my peppers. I did spray my pan. If I didn't say so earlier, I did spray my pan with non-stick cooking spray. And then I just start stuffing them. And like I said, I'm pretty generous. I make it go over the top a little bit, kind of mound it up in the peppers. Smells amazing. And also, before you start stuffing your peppers, you might want to taste your filling. Make sure it tastes the way you want it to. See if you need to adjust any seasonings. Okay guys, my peppers are all stuffed. Mine are pretty full. My peppers were also kind of on the smaller side. I showed you how small they were. So if you have larger peppers, you will use all of this filling. Mine were small, so I didn't use quite all of it. So I'm going to just freeze that for another time, and it'll make a quick meal for me for lunch or something. But for those of you who are empty nesters, I know you're thinking this is a huge amount, but what I like to do is after I bake them off, I'll take some extras, put them in a container that is freezer safe. I'll pop them in the freezer, and then when we need a quick meal, I can just take them out of the freezer and microwave them until they're defrosted, and you don't have to really cook them. You just need to defrost them and heat them through again. So it's a great thing to have on hand for a really quick meal. Anyway, so at this point I would just, actually I'm going to do something else first. We are going to add a little bit of chicken stock to the bottom of our pan so that our peppers have a little bit of something to cook in. We don't want them to stick or anything. The chicken stock will also add more flavor to your peppers, and it will help them to cook. So then I take about another cup or so of cheese, whatever you like, and I spread that all across the top. And then I'm going to cover this with foil, put it in a preheated 375-degree oven until my peppers are nice and tender. This should be about 30 minutes. So it's just going to depend on your peppers. I have found from experience that some peppers take longer than others to cook. If you have a pepper that is really thick skinned, those take longer to cook than those that are thinner skinned. Mine tend to be on the thinner side because they're from our garden and they were smaller, so maybe 20 minutes will be long enough. But anyway, it should be about 30 minutes that you'll need to cook your peppers. So I'm going to put foil on them, and then once they're cooked through, I'll take the foil off and just let them either brown or put them under the broiler so that the cheese gets a little bit of a golden crust to it. So when we get there, I'll bring you back. Okay guys, our peppers are all done. They smell, look, and taste amazing. Like I said, it's going to depend on your peppers, how long it's going to take them to bake. Mine were in for about 35 minutes. They were being a little stubborn and getting done. So it's just going to depend on your peppers. I would say 30 to 45 minutes or so. But I wanted to bring you a close-up. I cut one open for you so you could see how beautiful it is on the inside. All those delicious beans and the andouille sausage, the ooey gooey cheese. So good. And such an easy meal, right? Perfect for anytime. And it's a great way to use up leftover peppers, leftover sausage. It's just a really great dish to have on hand. So I hope that you will give it a try. Thanks for coming along with me today. If you have any questions about the recipe, leave them for me in the comment section. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the fun, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.